public hearing.
I'll second that.
A motion from Derby and a second from Smith to open the public hearing for Eagleport 12. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right.
So just for public record, again, I'm Ken Kraus with Pinnacle, and we do the environmental work for Al Miller and the Eagleport sites. What's going on today, and I don't know if you've had any questions on the permit applications as we submitted them, but Al Miller has sold all of his sites to Summit Corp, and so we got Mitch Baum here with Summit. These sites were sold with capacity up to 5,000 head. They were originally permitted for 4,800 head. And so we're going through the paperwork. There's no construction going on, but anytime we expand a site, we have to go through what's called an expansion permit. So this is an expansion permit with no construction. And because then we're going through the permit process, we have to go through the master matrix scoring to confirm that it's still got a passing master matrix score at that head capacity. So anyway, I can go through these in whatever detail you want. Eagleport 12 is the one at 20505 10th Street in Lake Mills. It sits in section 32 of Center Township. And again, it's going from a 4,800 head site to a 4,999. The matrix score, just in summary, is now 440 points of the required 440 points. I can go through the questions in whatever detail you want me to go through, if you want the individual scoring, or if you just want to review the total scores on each one.
This will be one of your sites, so what do you?
Can you just tell us what the
big points, so like this one here on question number 1, starts out with 4,442 feet from the closest resident, gives us an extra 2,567 feet. So we start out with 100 points out of 100 on the master matrix for extra separation distance to a residence. So that's probably the most notable feature on this one, is a lot of distance to residences. No public use areas within 4,001 feet. No church, schools, or businesses within 3,376. So that scores 30 out of 30 on question number 3. If there's, it's 800 feet from the closest water. It gives us an extra 300 feet, so it scores 5 points on question number 4. No critical public areas within 3,000 feet. It scores 10 points there. There's no major water within 3,501 feet, so it scores 50 out of 50 on question number 8. There's no high quality waters within 2,000 feet, so it scores 30 points on question number 10. Of course, they're pitted barns with buildings over the top of them, so it's covered manure. You get 30 points on question 12. They're using cement structures in the pit, so that's 30 points on question number 17. These sites all have truck turnarounds on them, so that's 20 points on truck turnaround on question 19. Al Miller's had no administrative orders in the last 5 years or at all. So that's 30 points on question number 20. By size, it's still in the smallest size category, so it's 20 points on question number 24. These sites will utilize a wet dry feeder or a cupped water, which will save on drinking water and well capacities going into the building, but then it also creates a more concentrated manure, fewer gallons to haul out. Okay.
So the additional heads, though, you're reconfiguring the interiors?
We're not. So more or less what we're doing is, with the manure plan we provide to the state and the county, the site will will produce more manure by 200 more head permitted capacity for the site, but the sites are built. When they initially were built, the 4,800 was standard flows for pig sources. That's grown due to performance increases, so we just are more or less asking for the additional capacity on the permit so we can place additional pigs in the site. So
It's really based on square footage per pig, and each integrator kind of has their target, and then it can move, and then it's different between integrators, so.
That was gonna be my question, is why wasn't it permitted that way in the first place? If it could have been, but the rules changed a little bit.
yeah, because 40 to the today, when we develop new sites like what we've been up here before, the permit's been $49.99 because that's the cap through the master matrix points. And so back, I can't remember exactly what year this was built, but it's just times have changed, and we like to have the ability to place as many pigs there when needed. So I don't see any really operationals changing, but we wanted that additional capacity.
The only disadvantage to over permitting them even today is there's a manure storage indemnity fee that the DNR collects based on head capacity. So most farmers look at that as a tax, but it increases the fee you pay on your annual submission for capacity you're really not using or getting paid for. So I do like to over permit them a little bit, but there is an additional fee that you pay into DNR on that capacity that you may or may not be using. So we try to zero in on it, but anyway, yeah, that's between square footage and then not over permitting them just to add expense to the operation. So back to scoring, this site has committed to injecting the manure on the day it's applied, and again, that's a lifetime commitment. And then that's the points that we took to get to 440. So, but again, the big one on that is no neighbors, a lot of separation distance to neighbors, and a lot of separation distance to major waters. So.
Okay, that hits the high points, I think.
You want to make the motion to close?
I will.
We didn't have any public comments submitted?
No.
Tara? Okay,
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second it. Motion from Smith and a second from Derby to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Consider for approval master matrix. I'm assuming that's for the Eagleport 12.
I'll make that motion to approve the master matrix for Eagleport 12.
All right. Go ahead, Bill.
I'll second.
A motion from Smith and a second from Jenswell to approve the master matrix for Eagleport 12. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. 9, 10 or thereafter, public hearing for master matrix Eagleport 11. You want to make that motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing for master matrix Eagleport 11.
I'll second that. On a motion from Smith and a second from Derby to open the public hearing for master matrix Eagleport 11. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. So where's this one at?
So this one's at 40520 200th Street down at Lake Mills. It's in section 32 of Center Township.
Same as the last one then?
It's in the same section, but it sits on the north-south road. So it would sit about a half a mile away of the first one.
Okay.
Just southeast across the same corner.
Yeah. Yeah. The first one sat on the northwest corner of that section, and this one's sitting midway down. Okay. Same thing. It's going from 4,800 to 49, to 49.99. Again, on this one, a lot of separation from those same neighbors. Instead of scoring 100 on the first question number 1, it scored 85. Okay. No public use areas within 4,000 feet, it scores 30 of 30 on number 2, scores 30 of 30 on number 3 for schools, churches, or businesses, additional separation distance. Closest small water, this one is set further away from that first creek, and so it scores 30 of 30 on small water. No critical public areas, so it scores 10 points on question number 6. No major water again, so it scores 50 points of 50 on question number 8. No high quality waters within 2,000 feet, so it scores 30 points of 30 on question number 10. Again, they're covered pits using cement, so it scores 30 points on both questions number 12 and 17. Has truck turnarounds, no administrative orders. By size, it's still the 20-point category. This site will also utilize a wet dry or a water cup as far as feeder and water systems. Committed to injecting the manure, and this one scores, because of those extra residential points right out of the gate and the small water, it scores 450 points of the 440 that we need to pass.
You have any more questions on that
I
one?
don't have any more questions.
Did you get any comments from the
Nope.
public on this one?
On none of them.
Okay.
So I can make the motion that the public hearing for Master Matrix Eagleport 11 be closed.
All right, I'll second it. Motion from Smith and a second from Derby to close the Master Matrix public hearing for Eagleport 11. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Consider for approval Master Matrix for Eagleport 11.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. A motion from Smith and a second from Derby to approve the Master Matrix for Eagleport 11. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Public hearing for Master Matrix Eagleport 9.
I'll make the motion to open the public hearing.
I'll second it. A motion from Smith and a second from Derby to open the public hearing for Master Matrix Eagleport 9. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, motion carries.
So this one's at 41,500 200th Avenue. It's in section 29 of Center Township. It was first built in 2008. It's also a 4,800 head site going to 4,999. On this one, we're going to end up with a finishing score of 440 points, of 440 required. We start out question number 1, extra distance to neighbors. We're at 2,676 feet, so we're over a half mile. We get 65 points of 100 on question number 1, okay? No public use areas within 40,000 feet, so 30 points on question number 2 of 30. Question 3, no church, schools, or businesses within 3,376 feet. That's 30 points of 30 on question number 3. Again, small water, we're 1,766 feet away from the 500 required on small water. Gets us 25 points of 30 on question number 4. No critical public areas within 3,000 feet, get us 10 points on question number 6. No major water within 3,501 feet is 50 points of 50 on question number 8. No quality water, high quality or protected waters within 2,000 feet, score 30 points of 30 on question number 10. Again, covered pits using cement gives us 30 points on both questions number 12 and 17. Has a truck turnaround, again, no administrative orders. By size, it's 20 points on question 24. Again, we'll utilize a wet dry or a cupped water. Committed to injecting the manure. This one, the only manure hauling concession we took is we've agreed to stay an additional 200 feet from any public use areas, just again for manure application, to try to protect those from any odor issues. Site does have an emergency action plan and a closure plan. Closure plan states when that site is no longer used for pigs someday, it'll be taken down and disposed of and whatever is required by either local, state, or federal law at that time. And again, scores 440 points.
All right,
I'll make the motion to close the public hearing for Master Matrix Eagleport 9.
I'll second it. A motion from Smith and a second from Derby to close the public hearing for Master Matrix Eagleport 9. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Consider for approval Master Matrix for Eagleport 9.
I'll make the motion to approve the Master Matrix for Eagleport 9.
I'll second it. I got a motion from Smith and a second from Derby to approve the Master Matrix for Eagleport 9. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Public hearing for Master Matrix Eagleport 8. Where was it, this one in Newton, or where's that one at?
This one is in Newton Township.
So I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for Eagleport 8.
I'll second that.
A motion from Derby and a second from Smith to open the Master Matrix for Eagleport 8. The public hearing for Eagleport 8. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries.
So this site's at 16340 430th Street down at Leland. Section 15 of Newton Township. If you're familiar with the area, it's in the southwest quarter of that section 15, right along the road there on 430th Street. Okay. It's also going from 4,800 to 4,999. Okay.
Newton,
Section.
you said,
Section 15 of Newton. It's in the southwest quarter of that.
I'm gonna fry farm.
I don't even have a Newton.
I can bring you my map if you want to.
My pages are stuck together or something. Yeah, there we go.
So it sits right at sits right in the kind of the middle of that southwest quarter, right along that 430th Street.
Now, this one, I looked through your scoring on it, and I saw no problem with anything other than I have an issue with driveway.
Okay.
That's always been a point of contention with me. I used to live just east of there.
Okay.
And the trucks always came in off Highway 9 on the gravel road, which would have been 160th,
Okay.
went a mile north, and then came 3/4 of a mile west when they came in with pigs or to drop off or to pick up pigs. And it's only, a quarter of a mile from the blacktop the other way.
I'll
And
work to
I
get
was
that.
told it's because of the way the driveway is. Is any way we can improve that turnaround somehow
I'll
to,
follow up with you on it and see what we can accomplish, because I agree that.
because
never-
it tears
it
up
never
our
crossed-
roads in the spring
Oh, yeah,
and
never crossed my mind that they'd come any other way, so
it's a
we'll
truck
work that out.
driver thing.
it's probably somebody's, well, it's true.
It was nothing
Somebody
to
put
do
the
with the way
Google
they
map in
operated
initially.
the facility, it was the truck drivers.
Yeah, we'll get that straight.
The other thing, and we had a lot of comments on this one from the public because of the way it was posted in the paper.
This time, you mean? Or
Yeah.
right now?
The way it was posted in the paper, it looked like there was 20,000 hogs coming to this section of land.
Misprint?
It was the way it came from the DNR, and it looked like there was poor applications for
For
this
one
section.
location.
It really did look like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we
We had
had
a lot
to
of-
field these questions
lot of
and
calls.
explain to them, no, there's not 20,000 pigs coming to this section of land.
I'm
It's just an update to slightly increase the capacity, and we,
And the way we put it from the DNR, it just,
read wrong.
It's
I
kind of
don't know how to
misleading.
explain it, but it doesn't put, it just puts the name of the hog confinement, so it put Eagleport 5 times. So it just looks like,
Sure.
It's all in Newton 15.
Okay.
I apologize for that.
and it's not your fault,
No,
it's not my fault, it's the way the DNR formed.
Just combined them all.
Yeah,
But the neighbors were a little concerned.
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, and they sometimes will actually request that they clarify that there's no construction. I don't think we made that request on these because we didn't anticipate that, but,
I think in the future that would be helpful.
yeah, I agree with you. We'll do that going forward, but that maybe would have helped.
So otherwise, I'm fine with this, if we can maybe look at the driveway thing.
This one also scored 440 of 440, so.
Okay, all right. I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for Eagleport 8.
I'll second that.
On a motion from Derby and a second from Smith to close the master matrix public hearing for Eagleport 8. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Consider for approval master matrix for Eagleport 8. I'll make that a motion to approve the master matrix for Eagleport 8.
I'll second.
On a motion from Derby and a second from Smith to approve the master matrix for Eagleport 8. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Public hearing for master matrix Eagleport 7.
Okay, this, so this one
Where is
is,
this at?
I'm sorry.
Where is this one at?
Yeah, so this one is in section 8 of Mount Valley Township.
All
And the
right,
street address is 20016 385th Street.
you want to open the public hearing?
I will. I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for master matrix for Eagleport
7.
7.
And I'll second it. On a motion from Smith and a second from Derby to open the public hearing for master matrix for Eagleport 7. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, motion carries.
So again, this one's also going from 4,800 to 4,999. Master matrix score on this one will end up being 440 points. Site was originally built in 2008. Okay. Not a lot noteworthy on this one. Neighbor distances are a little tighter. So we don't score any points on question number 1. There are no public use areas out in that neighborhood, so we do get 30 of 30 on question number 2. There's no church, schools, or businesses, so we get 30 of 30 on question number 3. Small water is the closest small water is 2,165 feet. We scored 30 points of 30 on question number 4. There's no critical public areas out in that neighborhood, so we get 10 points on question number 6. Major water, none in the neighborhood, so we get 50 of 50 for on question number 8. There's no other confinements out there with a manure plan with DNR within 3,960 feet, so it does score 25 points on question number 9. No high quality waters in that neighborhood. We scored 30 points on question number 10. Again, covered with a cement pit. We scored 30 points on question number 12 and 17. It'll have a truck turnaround, no administrative orders. By size, it's 20 points on question 24. Again, we'll utilize a wet dry feeder or a cupped water. Committed to injecting the manure. For manure hauling concessions, this one will also stay 200 feet, an additional 200 feet away from any public use areas. And the last points and then it'll also stay an extra 400 feet away from any high quality or protected water areas, which There are none in that particular neighborhood. It'll have a worker safety program filed in the office, which just clarifies or specifies they're gonna wear boots and coveralls in the buildings, dust masks, those sort of things. And then it'll have an emergency action plan that says, hey, if they do stick their hand with a needle, they're gonna call, this is where you go to the hospital, here's who your sheriff is, here's your ambulance, your fire departments. Those sort of things are all posted right at the phone, at the site, and it just specifies that in detail and makes it part of the permit. So with that, we end up on that one at 440 points.
I'll make the motion to close the public hearing for Master Matrix Eagleport 7.
I'll second it. A motion from Smith and a second from Derby to close the public hearing for Master Matrix Eagleport 7. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Consider for approval of Master Matrix for Eagleport 7.
I'll make the motion to approve the Master Matrix for Eagleport 7.
I'll second it. A motion from Smith and a second from Derby to approve the Master Matrix for Eagleport 7. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, folks.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Do you want to spell your last name for me, just to make sure I got it?
First one.
S-C.
Oh, me?
Yes.
SCHLICKSUP.
How do you say that?
Schlicksup.
What?
Schlicksup.
Okay.
Grant's one of our interns at Summit for the summers.
Okay.
All right.
Finishing up at Iowa State here in December.
The only questions I got on this was, I got two questions, and both of them thought that they were building 5 sites.
Oh,
Because they're,
Yeah.
we'll make sure we clarify that.
It's always on my checklist for Summit, when we do for Summit, just to make sure, and with them still being at the time in Al's name, we probably just missed it with that, so I apologize if that happened, but.
I never forget anything, so.
We put it in the permit, but we generally will make a note, there, just for the auditor or whoever does your publishing, and we didn't do that.
I think we did that last time we were up here on Newton 28 when we fixed that permit. We did the same thing when I drilled that well in the wrong spot, since you don't ever forget. But we made that note on that one, but failed on this one, so thanks for forgetting.
Maybe your new intern will keep you in line.
I'll do my best.
I'm gonna let him drive for his own safety the rest of the afternoon. So. Thanks for your time, guys.
All right.
Thanks, folks.
Have a good day.
Discussion with possible action, approval of updated.
Can we have Chris do hers? She has a class this afternoon,
Okay.
or at 10:30, and
He could hurt himself carrying all those folders.
Yeah, no, that looks like quite a load there, all full of paper too.
We're ready for you.
Anybody care if I turn this down a little bit?
could you go print, one copy of the handbook, so they can stamp one for a good year?
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable usually.
I know, you said that.
Like
My-
add
my
them
daughters or
accepting
my
the
wife are
changes?
uncomfortable.
Okay, it's all done.
Really nice thing in the new vehicles is when you have
Dual
different
control.
temperatures. Yeah, that was,
It's necessary.
Don's side will be on 90 and my side's on 60.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Got anything for drainage for us?
I do. Helgeson's got a hold of me and they have a petition signed from Joe Larson and Arlen Keel for DD6 for a clean out. But obviously I need your approval. He has an estimate of $84,000. It's about $35,000 to clean it. Then they've got the equipment. It's roughly 11,000 feet. And then he's got 24 outlet pipes.
Where is
Because
this at?
It's up north of Buffalo Center. It's that big district up there. And I know it was classified before I got here, because that's the one that the Wood
Yeah.
Brothers had the issue.
Um,
Yes.
So you know what section it's in?
Sections 28 and 29 of Eden.
Oh, even.
As I said, I couldn't think of any ground that I owned between Buffalo or Lincoln.
I just meant the ditch was north of Buffalo.
Yeah, well, yeah, DD6 comes down through there.
Yeah. So it's up.
I think I know which piece you're talking about. It's on the southeast corner of this section, isn't it?
Well, he does have a map. I should have printed it in color, my apologies.
So it's near Jose Bravo.
70th. Oh, no, it's not the one I was thinking of.
Okay.
Yep. I was thinking of, I'm just off of 490th, but I think that's just Joe's. Now that I
Okay.
think about it.
If you look at the.
So I did run an approximate what people would owe, and there is 1,034 parcels in it. So it isn't huge for any one landowner. So I was kind of glad about that.
So the entire ditch pays for the clean out, or is there?
Yes.
a break point? Okay.
No, when you
Try
do
to-
any part of it, the entire ditch would pay.
Yeah, drainage-
Mhm.
But
drainage
just in our
district.
county?
We don't share this with any other
Oh,
county.
we don't? I thought it went into.
Doesn't it go into
No, I think
Cassuth?
well, it's not a joint. I think it goes into 35 maybe.
Yeah, I don't think 6 goes into,
It does. It goes west into.
Well, I could-
But I think it connects, because it's right on the line here, I think it connects with the other joint, 68 or something. It doesn't, it like outlets into something else, not into,
I'm just trying to think, when we reclassified,
I could have swore that it was,
they don't,
it was classified before I got here, so I
it
don't.
goes into Cassuth and it loops back into 68, is that what it is?
Honestly.
I don't remember including another county.
No, it's not a joint district. That's all I know. It's not joint.
okay,
So, anyway, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I can put it on the agenda for next week. I don't know how you feel about it. It doesn't need an engineer because it's a cleaning. It's within the threshold that we don't need an engineer. We don't need bids because it's not at that threshold either. My opinion is it's fine. I mean, it's a lot of money, but it's,
would you send out letters then to,
oh gosh, yes. Oh, heavens, yes.
and what would the letter consist of, just the cost and? who
Well,
would
my
pay?
letter says that we have a petition signed and approved by the board to clean out approximately 11,000 feet of DD6. The estimated cost is $84,800. If you would like to know what your portion of that would be, please feel free to call me. So it's short and to the point, and that way I have this printed and all the girls know if anybody calls, it's right here.
So would you save yourself time and effort if you would just list the pricing out for each?
That's a lot more time because a lot of people don't call.
Oh, okay.
More people don't call than do.
And if you're sending out a letter, it's a thicker document.
Yeah, so my one letter, because this is 33 pages to send all this.
Sure.
So it has been easier to just say, please call me if you have any questions. Mhm. And that way, might be different questions for every person.
Mhm.
You know, they want to know who signed the petition. Well, how much do you send? So just call me, I'll answer the questions.
Unless she sends a letter and goes on vacation the next day, then.
That's when we run into issues. That might have happened.
So,
That's a long time ago. It's
Yeah.
fine. I got over it.
Were you saying I don't know a lot or what?
Well, the file's all right there, but
Yeah, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Did you get that one yesterday that I put on your desk about?
I haven't looked at it yet.
Okay. There was a guy in yesterday that said he talked to you a while ago.
Look like a Johnson, Eldon Johnson?
Yeah, about, he said that there was only a couple inches of cover on the tile.
Here,
Yeah, he did mention that, yeah.
And
here.
he,
you
I briefly did, it just looks like he wants to lower it to the original depth.
I don't have that
Okay, yeah.
map on me.
So-
I told him that was completely
Oh.
up to him as far as what he wanted to do or whatever, and
Okay.
to just,
okay, we need to just talk about that.
Yeah,
So you have part of Eden, don't you? Or is Eden all in District
no,
2?
it's all yours.
It is? Oh.
Yep.
I thought you had that
So it's
edge.
your problem.
I like drainage problems.
I know, right?
When she said DD six, I was scared, and then when I found out it was up that far, and I'm like,
So because you both have DD6.
I have probably more of it than her,
Mhm,
just
yes.
that it's in the right end of it.
So where they're gonna clean it is in hers, but yeah, you both.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I said, my opinion is that it should be okay, with how we do our process so far. So, did you want me to put it on the agenda next week? Yep. Okay. Otherwise, I don't have anything else.
You guys have anything for drainage?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Thanks. Don't go on vacation.
Okay, so we want to go back to the policy book,
Yes, please.
or the employee handbook. Discussion with possible action, approval of updated employee handbook.
Sent that out to you last Friday, I believe, Thursday.
Really exciting meeting.
Do you know how many times I've read this handbook
Yeah.
since we started this process? It's been a lot.
I made a bunch of notes, and I did have some questions, but I forgot them on my desk.
Okay.
But the one that I can remember offhand was that it doesn't list summer hours in secondary roads.
That is in their union contract, is what I
Well,
believe.
they're bargaining.
Yeah.
Okay, so not necessary for it to be
It doesn't
in
affect
the-
everybody else.
Because I think we added that wording in there because it said something about secondary roads, because it didn't list that they worked 4 10-hour days in the summer.
Right,
So then we added, I think, in one of the sentences, per their contract or something.
Well, we talked.
We did, I know we did. Yeah. It's in there.
I guess I was just looking for that, verbiage because of the
Right.
discussion that we've had here
Yeah.
and didn't see it, but so that's how you're covering that by saying,
I think it's under their actual secondary roads thing.
yeah, that's where I saw it, I think.
Secondary road, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Morning.
So I'm not finding the email where you sent it to us.
No, we didn't
I
put
got
it in there. Because it is in their contract.
see. It was just before all of
It was
Chris's-
Friday. I know it was
Yeah,
Friday.
it was,
okay.
it was late in the week.
Like,
Like I said,
Like I
it's
said, I
really
didn't-
interesting
I don't have
over
it.
the weekend.
Let me see if I can send it to.
July 9th.
July 9th.
Yep. I thought this gave the time of it too.
Oh, right at the end of the day. I was looking at the wrong week.
the other questions I had.
So were the changes highlighted in here,
Mhm.
or is this just the existing?
No, the changes are highlighted.
They're in red, aren't they?
Mhm.
So explain to me the union thing, how that works. And Scott, can you do that for me?
Well, I can probably explain
What's
it.
the,
We have a bargaining group with the road workers.
Mm-hmm.
They're not a union, they don't pay dues or anything, they just have a bargaining group. The unions are the deputies and the jail staff and things like that.
Communications.
Communications, they're all in a union, and they pay dues, they have somebody that comes in and negotiates for them.
Yep.
The road workers come in and negotiate for themselves.
Personally, each one?
Well,
No, they
there's
have a-
They have a
representatives.
representative.
collectively, they'll bargain and elect members from their own group. So you'll have 2 or 3 of the road workers here negotiating their contract.
Usually 3, yeah.
Yeah, they haven't typically hired any attorneys or union reps to help them.
Okay, and how and when and why does that happen?
Usually at budget time, and we're due for renegotiation this year.
Usually the process starts in about
It's
November.
usually either 2 or 3 years, depending how far out we want to go with, because we're locking in pay raises and benefits for a certain number of years. I think last time we only went 2 years, didn't we?
I think 3.
I think it was 3.
Did we go 3 last
So
time?
I think it was 3.
Okay.
So,
Does that answer your
It
question?
does, yep.
Yeah,
Trying to
Something that they've-
understand the,
The secondary road bargaining unit has been around for a very long time. The sheriff's union
Since the
and
late 90s.
communications union has only been around for probably
oh, 5, 6 years.
I was thinking
We've
6.
I remember at least 3 negotiations, probably.
It was.
Maybe 10.
Yeah, as I
If
say, it
you
was here
say
before I
5,
was
you gotta
here.
double
Was
it
it?
because
Okay.
it's time goes
Yeah.
fast, right?
Yeah.
that's true.
it's interesting how the state's gone, but, since are you familiar with the change in collective bargaining laws here a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
So since then, a lot of the road departments have actually dissolved their bargaining units and are just
They have no
handbook
leverage
employees that the department head negotiates their wages just like the rest of the staff, so it's kind of
So that
interesting to
was,
see.
that was kind of my next question. What about the compensation board then? You don't, I mean, secondary roads
It has
has
nothing to do with that,
nothing to do with that.
That's only for elected officials.
Okay,
but all their offices are reflected accordingly of the elected officials.
sure.
Yeah, and other departments
Yeah,
typically
other
follow
departments,
suit.
right, like conservation usually follows suit on what the
Yes,
compensation.
They don't think it fair if the supervisors are getting a 20% increase and the rest of them are getting a 3%.
I don't think we'd have very happy meetings.
I don't think that's ever happened.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good to know.
Susan, I found that spot you were talking about where it said something about their summer hours. And I found that on the page, and it just says the secondary road supervisor may change the secondary road department normal work week during the summer salaries. It doesn't say per their contract, negotiation, whatever.
I have that note to give you.
And what page was that on?
That is on page, it's 22 on the one that Carla sent me on Friday. This is Julie, by the way.
Yep, we
Which
figured
I
it
feel
out.
like that. I feel like that's
Thank
good
you.
enough.
Yep.
Yeah, it should be flexible because we need to change it for some emergency reason.
Yeah, I feel like that sentence is good enough anyway, because, I mean, you're gonna tell them what summer hours they need to work anyway, so.
It's 23. So I do have a question, the way our policy book is written now and being proposed. secondary road workers, when it comes time for holiday pay, get 10 hours in the summer? 10 hours holiday pay, is that correct? And everybody else gets 8 or
7.5 or 8, yeah.
So that's one thing they're getting that the rest aren't.
That was probably one of the other things I had on my list that I forgot.
And don't you guys not get
That's
President's
several
Day and then you work,
Holidays,
Yes.
you have a longer
that's why
4th of July
I
or
have a
something?
problem with them
They have traded
extending that
President's Day
period
for an
from summer
additional
too
day
long.
on the 4th.
Okay.
Is that in the union contract
I
or?
believe they wrote it in their contract this time.
You wanna go grab that?
I remember discussing it.
It's been unwritten policy for many years, and I think they wrote it into their contract this time. A little bit of a mutual benefit since they would work pretty commonly on that day anyway, being in February.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't always get to pick the days they're gonna work, February,
Not in winter.
even Christmas.
Really, that's more of a benefit to the employer than the employee. I'm not sure why they
I think this is it. Is
insisted on that.
that it?
Well, I mean, it's really nice to have a long 4th of July.
Sure, I mean, they could take it anyway because they'd have worked the overtime on the
Well,
President's
yeah,
Day.
yeah.
So, I don't, that really could go either way, I think.
Yeah, due to reasons, the holiday of President's Day will be taken the day before or after Independence Day, depending on when the holiday falls. And that's all it says.
Wasn't there some discussion on change to vacation?
Yes.
Is that in here?
Mhm.
I'm not seeing.
What page would that be on? Courtney?
I'm looking at page 29 and 30.
$28.
That's not what's showing on mine.
I wonder if it shows differently on a phone.
It's
I think
printed.
it does.
It's in the document, 28.
Because when people were looking at their phone during our meeting, it was different pages.
Really?
So I don't know if it prints out different pages.
Microsoft Office and iPhone not talking.
Yeah, so I don't know why it pops up when I go like,
That's the changes then.
so I thought you were changing.
It is changed. It
Can I
says,
read that one?
yeah, you can change.
It's under 3.2, Terry.
Yeah, I'm looking at, on 2 different documents.
Oh, okay.
So what was the previous policy then?
Previous policy was you started with 0.
Okay,
This you start with 5 days.
all right.
And
That's-
then added extra days on year 2 and year 4.
Yeah, second, fourth year.
You had 2 days each of the second and fourth years?
I added, so it was, you would get 5 days, year 1 and 2, and I added 2 days, so it would make it 7 days on year 2. And then on year 4, you used to get 10 days, and it would make it 12 days on year 4. Does that make sense?
I would have rather seen a document that had the slash and insert what you changed it to. It's
That's
a
what
lot easier for me to
I was gonna say,
understand.
that's what I thought I sent.
No, this is
Can you print one of those? Why don't you print 3 of those?
Yeah,
that's the way they do legislation, and I like
I,
looking at
I
it that
thought
way.
she
That
sent
way you can
that.
see what
You have
was
strike
and what
and
is. yeah.
insert and
let me take the break.
You guys, if you print it out, it does show it that way. I just printed it.
Yeah, she's gonna do that right now, Julie.
Okay.
I guess it depends on how your settings are. Was this in PDF or in Word?
It's in Word.
Yep,
Okay, so
yep.
there's different settings on how you can view it
Yeah,
too.
she's gonna print it that way.
When I looked at it on my phone, it didn't look this way. Now that I'm looking at it on my computer, it's that way that you liked it, Terry.
All right. Was some of this changed by Kelsey?
A lot of this was changed by Ehlers and Cooney.
Oh, all right, because I don't remember discussing all the changes that are in here. Like the employees reporting requirement, it's all in red. About 911 and having medical kits in all the vehicles and in all the buildings, which I assumed that was probably, but I don't remember discussing any of that.
We probably had 5 meetings over the course of the last,
Yeah, it's just I haven't been part of it. It's, you're talking the
handbook committee.
handbook committee.
Yeah.
So the change in vacation days and stuff, was that something that was the committee decided on? Who's on the committee?
Me and Kelsey and Chelsea, and the recorder, and Julie Sorensen, Julie Swenson,
It's all department heads.
And Bill.
Bill's not,
Bill's not on it.
Scott's on it.
Scott. Am I missing anybody, Julie?
We got rain coming again.
Hope it doesn't get too bad.
Wednesday, tomorrow.
Well, they're talking some possible severe stuff tomorrow, aren't they?
We're right in the bullseye.
Yeah, you start getting too much, and then all of a sudden drainage issues start.
Like right away in the morning, or?
I think there's chances of tonight, I think it's more chances tomorrow morning, and then even more chances in the afternoon. Probably the severe stuff would be toward the end of the day.
We don't need any severe weather. No, do we?
Getting all those animals into the fair,
Oh,
and then you have a storm.
Yeah, that'd make it into
It
a
is
quagmire.
place to, is there a tornado
Well, that,
safe?
isn't that new facility down to, maybe, was that a tornado?
One of the older buildings is a tornado shelter, that block one or whatever,
Oh, really?
if I remember right.
No, the 4-H building.
Yeah, it must be the 4-H building. Yeah.
Oh, sure, that's fine.
Seems like it says because the bathrooms in there got block walls or whatever, and seems like I can remember some storm shelter sign in there.
Windows.
Do they start moving livestock in tomorrow?
You work in the booth?
Yeah, I am.
I can't remember
Friday.
when.
I think I,
Did we get an
Saturday.
email?
I don't know, Vern called me, Vern Jarvis.
Somebody talked to me about it, but I can't, well, it was, I think it was Jerry Wiedemeyer. But I can't remember ever hearing a date. He just said it would.
I can give you Vern's number, you can call him.
All right, see what they get.
I'll share it with you.
You just gonna send it to me?
While we're waiting, you wanna look at the Dave Randall thing?
yeah. Did the shingles come in?
Yes. He said it'll be starting, he's wrapping something up and he'll be starting in 2 to 4 weeks.
Nice.
Okay, consider for approval pay application number 1 to Dave Randall Construction for the re-roof project. So this is just for the materials to get started.
Yeah, he's got a picture of the shingles in here.
Some materials and like the bonds and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yep.
That was almost the wrong stamper. Wow.
It would have caused us to be here all day.
You think it might have been a slight overreaction?
Thank you.
Thank you.
see.
I can't even remember if she told me to. I don't even know. Put it on the agenda. I don't know.
Everybody else is already okayed it. I assume that she talked to her.
I think so.
Questions
I
answered.
think that's why I put it back on. I can't remember. It's been so long, I really can't remember.
What did I do? I don't know. I noticed that the other day.
Well, I guess I'll entertain a motion to approve the pay application.
I'll make the motion to approve the pay application number 1 to Dave Randall Construction for the re-roof project.
I'll second it. On a motion from Jen Folk, a second from Derby to approve the pay application number 1 to Dave Randall Construction for re-roof project. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
Oh, I meant to say aye.
It was inferred.
Yeah, well, I didn't say nay anyway.
Since you made the motion, we just inferred it.
I have seen it happen here before, though. Seems like Mike did that once. He made a motion on something that voted against it.
That wouldn't surprise me.
So you have a company that helped with
That Eilers and Cooney.
Yes.
that, okay?
He's the one that comes and negotiates for us when we have the unions in here.
Okay. Where's he from?
Des Moines.
Mike Galloway, very sharp.
He's quite a personality. This 2080 will need to be stamped.
No, gosh, no.
Gosh, no,
Gosh, no.
really?
Really?
This needs that signature.
Yeah. I know you're excited to use your stamper, but
I better at least get the date updated on this one, so I used the wrong one. It's got the right date on it.
So you have work from home? That
We added
changed?
that in there.
Okay.
I can't remember what page it's on. I need to run and check Kelsey's email. She told me what page, but.
It's on page 20, section 2.2.
page 20. That's the maintenance
I was
department.
gonna say, it's probably different on your pages.
2.2, section.
2.2, okay.
18.
Employees are not allowed to work at home except in limited circumstances necessary.
So how has that changed with COVID and now post-COVID?
So before it was not really
It was just one sentence.
allowed at
basically.
all. Now, if your department head says that you can work from home,
In an extreme circumstance like COVID,
What if you are the department head?
and you make that decision, it better be the right one, or people will start noticing.
It no longer says extreme circumstances,
Yeah, it says limited, I think.
just a limited basis, which kind of prevents you from just doing it every day.
Yeah, yeah.
well, some do
Just as
anyway, but
regular hours.
Right.
Well, that's the concern.
So we follow the handbook anyway, so.
Yeah.
Doesn't-
So if we were to pass this, then like, would all the other boards have to pass it to accept it?
I wouldn't think so.
Like the conservation and the conference board and E911?
I guess I would encourage them to do that as well.
But I would think that they're all paid by the county, that it would all be under our authority to approve or disapprove the handbook. I don't think they can they make demands on us to, well, this is the way it's gonna be, because this is the way we say it's gonna be.
Saying that they should be apprised of what the changes were and confirm them, basically.
I mean,
Yeah, so-
we'll hand out the new handbook to all the employees. We'll give everybody a new copy, have them sign the acknowledgement that everybody's received a new copy, and
I suppose if they had it in advance, and if they had something that they really thought needed to be changed, they could bring it before us that way to, either get it approved by us or disapproved. So prior notice for them might be all right.
Comment period. So
Yeah. And then we can choose to agree with them or disagree with them at the time.
Under 2.4, reimbursable expenses, it was scratched for the auto mileage to be at 4 cents under IRS rate. Where are we addressing it otherwise?
It's the first paragraph, Terry, under that same section.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was duplicated.
So under work-related injuries, we only work with Mercy One.
Yes. That's been approved a long time ago.
Should the name be corrected to Mercy One?
Oh, sure.
What does it say?
Mercy.
Just Mercy.
Yeah, cause we've gotten bills from where it says Mercy One and then it says Mercy. So I don't know if it's actually just Mercy One or if it, you know what I mean?
Or somebody doesn't have something changed in their computer.
No.
Yeah, you would think that would be it.
We've gotten bills from both, so I don't know. I think it's just Mercy entity.
They're all nonprofit.
Okay. There is no such thing as a nonprofit.
I'm gonna go get my other coffee.
So everybody is fine with the inclement weather changes then? We had one,
That's what we passed, wasn't it?
but I mean, as it reads now, I mean, it reads the way we talked about it, I believe,
Yep.
Thought so.
on page 27. And an extra holiday? Wow.
That's what Carla wanted to add on there, so. Whether you guys wanna approve it, it's up to you.
Where is it set?
I think that was one of the notes I had, 28. I'm mad at myself after reading the whole thing and taking notes and then not remembering my notes.
Yeah, that's something I would do too.
So when is that, February?
I think it said on there. Didn't I add it in there?
Didn't
The
say the date.
No, I suppose. So February, what, 16th, is that what we said?
What's
Martin
that?
Luther King? It's middle of February sometime.
And the reason for adding it?
When is Martin Luther King Day?
Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the United States will be on Monday, January 17, 2022.
Because the clerk of court has it.
So is it one that always changes to the Monday? I mean, it always is the third Monday or whatever.
I think so.
Do other counties
Have it?
have it?
Yeah,
All of them?
I don't know. Some do,
Ones
some
around
don't.
here.
We need a bigger, better calendar. Mine's right there. We can see it. We need a bigger, better calendar.
You got a hook for it, I'll get you one.
I was gonna say Scott's got plenty.
Is he in charge of command hooks or something?
No, he's got calendars though.
Oh.
But Kevin's got command hooks.
I've never had good luck with command hooks. They probably work better on the plaster walls than they do on sheetrock. People in my apartments use the command hooks and then they tear the sheetrock and when they don't remove it properly. And
Yeah, you gotta do it the right way.
I'd rather replace a little hole like this from a nail than I would torch sheetrock.
Hey, can you bring us a command hook to the supervisor's room?
Didn't Scott just go get one?
That'd be super awesome.
went-
No, he
Thanks.
just went and got a calendar.
Oh,
Let's do the
okay.
calendar.
Calendar. Okay, bye.
I hear it.
Sounds like a big one.
So
Yeah, that's the one I have in my office, I love those.
Oh, those are good ones.
Kevin's bringing us a hook.
Work underneath it. I mean, that's probably gonna work underneath it then.
That's dandy. You do have calendars. It's just that one over there is hard to see unless he's coming back to this table soon. Or you like it over there.
Yeah, when are we gonna,
Go back to
now it's
normal.
3 foot in the classroom, so I don't know.
Kevin's coming with a hook. Maybe Bill likes his table over there.
Well, I just figured you guys were, this is just your social distancing for me. Nobody,
I don't know, what our current,
I don't know.
I don't know. I think,
I haven't been paying.
I just know the classrooms, that the most current CDC guideline says 3 feet.
Yeah.
But keep our heads apart 3 feet, I think we'd be fine.
there you go. But,
We got a 9 foot
Does that mean I
desk.
have to slide down between you two?
that's right.
You might want to
That's
think
not,
about that.
that may not be exactly where you want to be. Of course, it could be worse. You could have had what I had when I first got on. I had to sit between him and Mike.
I had to sit by Willie. I mean,
His leg was always going like this.
Oh,
Yeah, that's me
no.
too.
or he
He
would,
Can't
he would
complain about
like
that.
He would
move like
go
this and you would like
Squeaking
squeak
against the
against
side.
the side of the. It was
There's a
great.
couple times I just grabbed his hand.
That would drive me crazy.
I love Willie.
Yeah, he sat in front of us in church, in the pew right in front of us. My kids would climb underneath the pew and then sit with Willie because he always brought gum. Then they'd be up there goofing around. I'd have to discipline them all. When I was gone driving truck, when they would require, if my dad was gone too, and they would require, like the dad was supposed to go up with the kid and build a birdhouse or whatever. Willie went up, built birdhouses with my kids.
That's cool.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
So do we have any more questions on this then?
Was there any questions that you guys came up with that looked
I
curious?
don't,
or-
we've just been, I don't know, we put a lot of work into this and I think we came up with the best that we were able to and
With the guidance of,
the guidance of
Yeah,
Ehlers and Cooney and.
and they thought everything in there looked
Mhm.
good the way it was. I mean, the only one that kind of stands out is the, like you say, the vacation. You know, which is kind of surprising that Martin Luther King Day wasn't a vacation day in a sense, but,
A holiday, you mean?
yeah,
Holiday.
yeah, that's what, you gotta take it for what I mean, not what I say. Thank you, thank you.
And the reason for that is so Kevin has to come, you know, come in and they're open and, or they're closed and so then it just, then if we're both closed, then we. I don't know,
What are you talking in reference to?
the Martin Luther King Day. If we're both closed, then it's just
No, I think
closed.
it makes
Yeah,
fine sense. Just was asking. So I would make the motion to approve the updated employee handbook.
I'll second it.
Got a motion from Smith and a second from Chancellor to approve the updated handbook. Any further discussion?
The only discussion was that if you said earlier
What about the other boards?
about the other boards.
Oh, do
Yeah.
we, before we approve it, do we, or we,
No, we approve it and then they would just
If they
act
have,
upon it.
if they have
to-
issues with it, they'll come to us later.
Right. But it'd be good for them to,
Is there a way to make sure that they are
I would,
notified? I mean, they will be
I
when
don't
they get a new handbook.
I know the conference board's meeting 2 weeks, is it?
And on everybody's agenda so that they'll be aware.
At 11:30, 2 weeks, I think it is.
Yeah.
What's the date of that?
So you had the last Tuesday, 27th.
Yeah, we don't have a great big calendar.
You got a letter, didn't you?
I got a letter.
Should have got a letter from the assessor's
Great,
office.
great big envelope from the
Oh, I
assessor.
already returned my card even.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're supposed to
yeah.
return them?
Oh, is there an RSV?
I've never returned
Yeah.
She just knows we're gonna be here.
Come on.
Way to pay attention, Suze.
See, she's on top of it.
She just didn't know it was called the conference board.
No, I didn't know it was called that. Is there other verbiage at the top of that letter?
I don't know. Anyway, so we've got a motion on the floor.
Oops, yep.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Consider for approval, 2080 agreement for sharing with mental health advocate costs.
Yeah, I'll fix all that.
All right.
Bill, you got this one figured out?
Yep.
All right,
The other counties have all
all right.
approved it long ago, so I'll make the motion to approve the 2080 agreement for sharing mental health advocate costs.
I'll second it. On a motion from Jensvold and a second from Derby to approve the 2080 agreement for sharing of mental health advocate costs. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Got my understanding here, we'll discuss secondary road matters.
Our crew is working on F-18N1 bridge replacement project west of Thompson. They took out the bridge yesterday. I took the time and spent the day there and helped them out for what I'm worth out there. The bridge lumber is going to Fox Auction Yard for public auction. We tried to take it to SAPS and they were full.
You got a lot
There
of
was,
stuff out there.
it was full. They had some bridge materials out there
I
too.
guess they're selling some of the stuff that he bought from us, so.
Yeah,
Again, we're trying to find the end user. People are flipping stuff we sell, you know that we're not doing that, so. Hopefully we're finding the end users and getting the best price for them by kind of spreading it out and selling it at places where there's not a, magnitude of bridge lumber. So anyway, Fox Auction Yards in Mason City, and they have an auction on August 14th, a consignment auction similar to SAP sale. So we took the bridge plank, stringers, and caps and the guardrail over there, and those were unloaded this morning.
where's that at?
It's kind of out by Nyack and south.
Oh, down by Portland.
I don't know the area very well. I looked
Yeah,
at
I
the
was
map.
gonna say Portland's down in there.
Portland is south of Nyack.
Wonder if it's,
I used to go swimming in the pits.
oh, really? You were one of them skinny dippers.
No, not skinny.
Oh.
Well, I was skinny back then, but I was close. It really,
I sent Carla a note, maybe you haven't got it yet by email, but to include it in the minutes so everybody has some public notice that we're selling that August 14th. But yeah, like you said, if they want to buy any bridge plank, I think there's some on SAP sale here coming up this week.
so it's just the bridge materials that are being sold on there. Okay.
Yep. Pretty much everything we could fit from the bridge on one trailer load. And now we don't have to handle it more than once, so I think we're money ahead. We'll see what we get for it.
I wouldn't say that was your biggest draw to your options. More of a, let's get rid of this. Hopefully you have enough bidders to do it.
Especially if it's being bought and resold again.
Yeah, that's the part that makes me think we're not quite doing it right. But we'll see. I'll pay attention to what it sells for on SAP sale too, what the stuff he bought. Just, one bridge worth of lumber I think is worth about $5,000. So if we can do a little better versus a little worse, it's thousands of dollars. And for a project that's
If you had to buy it new, it would be 5,000?
No,
Oh, no.
if we had to buy it new, it would
I mean,
be
that's what
tens of thousands of dollars.
That's what I was, yeah.
Knowing what lumber prices have done since your sale till now,
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how they do on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's other variables, but it'd be interesting to see.
Sure. What's amazing is how good a shape they are. Lots of them.
A lot of them, yeah, I mean, we also are taking a load to the dump, so.
Yeah,
You know, we'd save the best ones and try to do a neat job taking it apart. The guys are,
For the years involved, you just can't believe any of them are in that good a shape.
yeah, you know, you scrape off the 3-4 inches of gravel off the top.
Do you know what year the bridge was originally built?
I can't tell you offhand the date, but we have it on record.
Yeah.
Yep, most of the bridges, we would have reliable dates for that. They've been required to be inspected for many, many years, so that data has been just translated down the road. I'm guessing this one, 60s, 1960s, it was built. Very old.
So is your goal to eventually get all of the wooden bridges replaced?
Certainly, I think that's a good goal for my tenure. You know, it'll take all that unless we somehow get really aggressive on that and let some other things go. It'll just take that much time, especially if we're doing 2 or 3 a year is all.
You know, and if it's still, what do they score them or however, if it's still scoring good, you won't replace them. If the village bridge is still in good shape, or you're just gonna replace them anyway?
Well, at this rate, by the time we get to them, they'll all be
They'll all be.
basically passenger car bridges,
Yeah.
allowing no trucks or tractor traffic. So, you know, at that point, they're almost worthless. They don't have a lot of value if they don't support the ag community.
And not having the guardrails on those bridges is really, really nice when you have wide machinery.
Yep, I happen to be the one that trailers things around and
Yeah.
it's,
It's probably not it's a bigger conversation around it, but there are some that I think we can consider closing and not replacing. That would be pretty expensive projects. But maybe that's more of a discussion for next year's 5-year plan.
Just closing the bridge?
Yeah, I think it's something to consider, at least when the detour is not very long and when land is owned differently on both sides of the creek as opposed to the same, or, you know, depending on where people are hauling their grain or whatever. I think there's some opportunities out there to take $200,000 projects and
cost
turn them
for
into
them to go-
$5.
The cost for them to go the long way around the section compared to what actual traffic uses the bridge, the cost for them to go around an extra mile or 2 is a lot less than what it would to replace the bridge, I suppose.
Depends. If they're going an extra 3 miles, probably not. But if they're all going the opposite way anyway, then it does. So
how many potential
I would
bridges
say
are like that?
4 or 5, maybe. And the reason I think that is because we now have something like 30 posted bridges that are low enough to prevent any semi or tractor traffic. And maybe you guys hear about it, but I don't get any serious calls about it. Maybe 1 a year. So, you know, how bad of a problem is it, or do we just accept it that that's what it is and can't do anything about it? Maybe
Or
it's the,
are they just ignoring it and driving across then?
No.
I don't know. I'm sure there's some of both. But, you know, we can replace bridges with pipe culverts and get the upper ends of the streams pretty economically. But once we get down to the end and we got to put in a big box or a double box, all of a sudden you got 200,000 per crossing. And so you can't do 5 or 6 a year. You can do 1 because you just don't have enough money to stretch it out. You don't have $1 million for that. So we have been letting some of those slide a little bit for that reason. So we can look at a little bit more detailed 5-year plan, I think. So in my tenure, I hope we don't have any timber bridges at the end of it. they have served a good life. I mean, a lot of them are very old.
Yeah.
And 90% of the materials were in excellent shape. It's just the bottom part.
Yeah, even this one, when they were tearing out the piling, they did not come out very easily, so.
Lots of times they're rotten out, they just jerk right out.
Yeah, a lot of times, it's like a sponge that they'll just crunch and pull up. But the ones I saw them take out yesterday, which was only a couple, were pretty hard. So, that's the scoop on the bridge. Other than that, the guys are mowing gravels now, and they have been for a little while, and should have the first round complete in the next couple of weeks. So,
I don't remember where it was at. I saw one of the blacktops, the grass is still in fairly good shape, but the weeds have grown up on the side and are actually creating a bit of a blind spot issue or whatever as far as animals would be concerned. They go along there and spray for weeds at certain points, don't they, or not?
spot spraying for thistle is about all they do,
Okay.
so I understand, not our guys.
And conservation, that's well, it's noxious weeds too. Yeah,
Pretty much just thistle,
Because you guys don't spray anything.
no.
So we still have a wait 15 mile per hour sign out at Race Lake?
Bison Graphics is supposed to be making the replacement sign. We could have taken it down, I guess, but they're making it, and they were busy last week, he said, so they'd have it done this week. So once it's made, we'll go pick it up and get it up.
there's 2 trips out there too, to go up, take it down and go up, put it up.
Yeah, I mean, it really should have something.
There's actually the flag that's on the other sign as you turn the corner.
Sure.
That flag is tattered and falling apart, and I don't know if it's necessary to go back up.
Usually those are for new signs.
Yeah.
I imagine they put it up when it was new.
Yeah, so it probably
Could be just pulled down.
fold down. Looks tacky.
Yeah.
And talking about that area, I don't know if we want to put something together to
Golf carts.
alternative street vehicles, call them, and just say within a quarter mile of any golf course or
Public park, or
not public park, or camp, but private campgrounds.
private campgrounds.
Because you put the public campgrounds in and then you're opening up your county conservation ones.
Yeah.
Or even, I guess you'd be within a quarter mile just next to the pilot knob too. Don't you think the terminology, alternative street vehicles, we identified as golf carts?
That would kind of cover everything, I guess.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with that, I guess.
Maybe I'll talk to Kelsey about the terminology then.
Be good.
Anything else on roads?
I was just gonna tell you too, we got our grader that we ordered for this fiscal year. That's in the shop already, getting up fit with radio and kind of basic things that we need on it. So that'll be,
Which model is that now? 120M?
they are 140Ms now. The kind of model number nomenclature is kind of changed. So we were getting 12 M3s for a while. Now this one's 140. Yeah. And I'm not the person to just explain all the differences, but it's similar to machine as to what we have. So that's in our possession. The last of the trucks from last fiscal year, all those are here and kind of complete as well. So the only thing we have on order and not received at this point is the pickup that we ordered back in whatever, January. And then the other truck for this coming fiscal year, the chassis that our guys are gonna put the plow equipment on. We don't have that yet either.
So now, when we sold our Oshkosh, what does the job of plowing for the Oshkosh for?
Yep, so the new grader, you know, we didn't trade anything for it, just the truck. Didn't trade a grader away, so now we have 12 graders. We have 10 route graders and 2 standbys in the winter. Yep, I would say a step up in reliability. And graders are more versatile as well. Maybe don't quite have the speed, but more versatile for sure, so.
Well, I wouldn't exactly call the old Oshkosh as fast.
No, I gotta believe when that thing was up to speed, it was quite a ride.
I think you could ask each operator and they would tell you pros and cons.
Yeah.
But I think overall, as a fleet management strategy, having all the same machines that can be swapped in and out, we now have 2 standby graders that are the same as whatever else they're running, so we can move those around to wherever we have trouble.
Are all the controls the same in all of them now?
No, they're not.
They're
But all the standbys have lever controls, and all the guys who work here have run lever control machines. So it should be pretty seamless. All the new ones we get are joystick.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's all I got.
Questions for Scott?
Nope.
Nope.
All right, consider for approval agreement for county bridge federal aid swap funding for K30 N1 on A42.
Flag for your signature page.
This is the bridge that we've been discussing on A42.
Yes. Christensen Farms got their trucks permitted for it, probably that all worked.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I think we have maybe 100 permits out. So, it'll take a little time one day, but I think
Yeah.
pretty set up now, and if any other farmers, any of the contract haulers want to do it, they can do it too.
Okay, so if I'm gonna go across the bridge, I need to get a permit.
If you want to legally cross the bridge, you need a permit.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement for county bridge federal aid swap funding for K30 N1 on A42.
I'll second it.
Okay.
A motion from Derby and a second from Jensel to approve the county aid, federal aid swap funding. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Open forum.
I need this stamped approved. This needs stamped approved. This didn't get stamped approved last week. So that
Really?
needs a date change.
You should have brought that to me before I changed it.
Yeah, probably.
Now I've gone through it again. Let's see, and that would have been 8th,
No,
7th,
6th.
6th. Really?
Yeah.
Either you guys know any old-timey mechanics who would want to get our dozers running? Or you two, maybe?
Howard Loudon.
Would he want to?
No, but he sure could.
Yeah, coulds and want to.
Well, if Larry Waldo was physically able to, he's an excellent mechanic that's worked on stuff. He used to work for us. They used to have the Waldo construction.
I assume they're just old diesels.
Yep, one's got a gas pony motor.
How about that, Anderson,
In order, they won't start?
I think it'll start. We just don't have the
the
time to, just sit and stare at it for a day or two. We'd like to have them running and then put them on an auction site, but I think they'll bring more if they're running.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, definitely.
It's hard to make that a priority for our own guys.
Caterpillar mechanics. I mean, but
It's more the engine stuff.
diesel,
You wanna get
diesel
it
engine's a
going, right?
diesel engine. though.
Just get them running. And
Wouldn't have to do anything with the carriers or anything like that.
No.
Diesel fuel doesn't deteriorate as much as gasoline.
Yeah, so it's probably just fuel flushes, maybe a battery and some whatever, knowing how the whole process goes.
Yeah, all you need is, compression for the ignition and fuel and something that'll turn it over. And in theory, if you've got those three, now if it has low compression, then diesel start hard. If they're,
Well, we believe that they're running well when they're put away, you know, so.
Yeah.
Just don't
What do you want to accomplish? Do you want to sell them?
video of them running to prove that they're running. That's really what I'm after, and we also need to get them loaded if they sell, so. They need to be at least running well enough to
yeah.
drive on a trailer.
I've watched videos of them starting old dozers like that that've been sent out in the middle of the forest for years and years and years. It's surprising, they will fire right off pretty good.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
gotta get the
once
pony
they-
motor to run.
Just gotta get them turning over.
I have no doubt that our guys could do it if they just, you know, if we told them for 3 or 4 days, here's your project, but
Yeah.
we just, right now, can't afford that.
What models are they?
1951 and 1962
D6.
B7s. One's a B7E in our records. I don't know what that tells any different, but
That makes it newer.
we think we know the years for pretty certain.
What is it worth
Well,
if they can drive themselves onto a trailer?
those and all the scrapers, you know, we might have $20,000 or $30,000 in equipment there. Boy,
How
Pretty
would you
tough.
sell them then?
what's that?
How would you sell them?
Well, I think the best market we could find would be like through the auction time or truck papers, or we could go like Purple Wave or one of those more municipality government liquidation sites. They're all pretty accommodating.
Then you want to maybe market it through the vintage.
Through the what?
Vintage equipment people.
Yeah, in my conversations, they're not quite old enough to be collectible,
Excuse me.
you know, so they don't quite
Thank you.
get the collectible market. They're just a little too new, but they're a little too old to be everyday machines. They could be.
It's all right.
So we're doing some brainstorming, I guess, and if you guys got any ideas, we could probably pay a guy to come and work on them for a little bit if he could, you know, get them started.
Your mechanics aren't interested.
Well, they haven't done it before, so it'd be sitting around and learning how to do it and then doing it. They can do it. Absolutely, they can. They do that every day, but it would just, it's not like you just run over there and flip the switch and,
Well, somebody that might be good for that would be like Larry Gray at BC Repair.
Hmm.
He's been around mechanics for a lot of years, and they also do small engines. So the pony motor would also be something that would be up their alley. Plenty old, but
wonder if he's ever worked on that kind of stuff before. I mean, that's specifically.
you know, probably accidentally over the years, but probably not too much on purpose.
Yeah,
It's all, you know, when you get into that stuff, a lot of it's so heavy that,
yeah. He kind of seems like he has always plenty of business too, you know.
yeah, no, well, he's a little slow this time of year. They're starting to ramp up with, you know, pre-season combine inspections and stuff, so.
Okay. All right.
Anything else for open forum?
Sign this.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Did you need this, Scott, the copy of it?
Yes, yes. Just over 6.59 seconds out there. Thought they had
You have maps for all of the
Maybe that's what their license
building master matrix.
changed.
Got packets from.
What are you
Yes,
talking
in
about?
my office.
Rembrandt, how many chickens?
Two and I
Oh,
stopped by and.
6.376.
Do you know if they're expansions or new ones?
of
No,
3
they're
pounds or
all
more and
existing,
200,000 of 3 pounds
And
or
they're
less.
just being sold
But I
to
don't know if
someone.
they
new.
have that.
No, I don't.
I don't think so.
Okay,
They wouldn't
Okay, thank
change
you.
their,
There's not near as much activity out there as
Oh,
there
no.
used to be.
they haven't sold grain out there for a long time.
All right,
Must not
so
be.
we stand adjourned then.
Did we do the auditor's quarterly report?
Yeah.
We did?
We snuck it in early.
Right after the recorders.
Yeah, we did?
Yeah, we got those done right before 9:05.
Yeah, don't
Well, actually, it was about 9:06 when we did it.
I must have forgot to cross it off my list.
So if you want to go back and listen to the recording.
All right, I'll watch YouTube later, and if I find any
Was
problems.
YouTube on then?
Oh, did we ever get it
Oh, yeah,
on?
it wasn't.
yeah, we got it on. I don't,
It was about 9:06 we got
what
it
did I
on,
do?
probably, no, 9:05.
All right, well, I'll just take your word for
It's
it.
a technicality.
It'll read in the minutes whether I voted or not.
See you later.
Not for today.
Okay. See you guys.
Yeah, have a good day.